Hi there, welcome to another Pandora Box Office Hours session with me, Steve Worswick, creator, author, developer of the award-winning and now record-breaking Mitsuku chatbot. In today's session, I've been asked by a user what's the best way to organise our AIML files. Are we okay just to just make a massive update file, or should we be splitting them out? Well, there's no real sort of hard and fast rule, and anybody who knows the way I work probably realises that I'm probably not the best person to ask about this, because I just make giant update files. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you some of Mitsuku's files and the way I've kind of organised it. So let's just go into AIML. Okay, so I have a few sort of sections for Mitsuku. Now, the first 5 files are the old original Alice files. Yeah, now these are the ones that are created by Dr. Richard Wallace, many years ago, the original Alice files. When I was first creating Mitsuku, there seemed no point in starting from scratch, from Hello World. Richard made these available for everyone to use, and so there's all in there, and it's all the old sort of classic-y stuff in there, so all the old original Alice files. So I keep those separate. What I then did, so over the years, I started making, not over the years, when I first started, I put a load more responses in that I wanted Mitsuku to be able to handle. So I call those, the main body of the bot, so I just renamed them main. And then I started putting like little, extra features in there. So what have we got in here? So yeah, this just sets up like an initial log-on message, and then there's all kinds of different things in there. I think this one, so there's let's have a look. Yeah, so this one, if someone says, Happy Groundhog Day, it checks that it is actually Groundhog Day, things like that. And things that solve puzzles. You ever seen these kind of things where like number puzzles, and there's all kinds of different things in there. But the vast majority of my files are made up of these update files. Okay, so now these are just all the things that people have said to Mitsuku over the years. So there's just some examples there. Now, what I tend to do is, rather than just making one giant update file, is once an update file gets to around 1 megabyte, I copy it away, put a number on it, and then just start a new one. Yeah. So it just kind of works like that. Now, why do I choose a megabyte? There's no real reason. It's just that when I was first starting to make Mitsuku around 15 years ago, USB sticks and flash drives weren't really a thing. And so I had to work off floppy disks, and the old floppy disks tended to use stored around just over a megabyte of data. So once it gets to a megabyte, I just copy it off, and then I can start a new one. What I also do as well is I sort it into alphabetical order, so it makes it easier for me to find something. Yeah, I can just search through like that. What it also gives me a chance to do as well is to add things in. Let's have a look. Just to refine them. So there we go. So for example, like putting he's and theys and its and things like that in. So I get context, just work through them like that. Yeah, so let's try to see if any who is. Yeah, so like here we are. Who is the sexiest man? We've got Brad Pitt. So it just gives me a chance to put those in, because when I'm updating logs, I just tend to just make quick answers and then put them online. So yeah, so kind of work through like that. So all these are just all the new thing. Now there's all sorts of things in there. Like there's like favourites there, but there'll be favourites in other files as well. Now, if you want to, you can put all these in one file so it's easier to manage. You're probably best doing that if you have the time. It's just that Mitsuku's kind of grown out of all proportion, and it's I never really got sort of chance to organise all this, and trying to organise like 15 years of work into different files is going to be a bit time consuming, and for not a great deal of benefit, because the bot loads them in this order as it goes down. So any newer files I've created, get loaded last. So if I need to replace anything, I can just put it in there and then try and find an old one like that. What I have at the end as well are utilities. I mean, all these update files are just kind of like general question answers that people can ask the bot. But what I do have is all these files are like different sort of utilities and things it can do. So, for example, if I look in we've got animals. We're looking at that one. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so what this is a big list of like animals and things, and it tells you like where they live, what's the baby called, and what's a male one called, female, and all that kind of thing. Because people like to ask us stuff about that. Now I could just shove those into the update files and just add them as I get new ones. But that's not really going to be, it's not really very useful, because if I ever needed to sort of like export all these to something, or someone wanted to use this file, I'd have to then go through all the update files saying, oh, have I got any other animals in any of the other files? So try and keep those together. Same with kind of like utilities. So for example, there's like a tic-tac-toe game here written in AIML. Yeah, there's no point putting those all in other update files. If I need to amend anything, everything's sort of in here to use. And then I've just got a few at the end, just a few like bits and bobs. So there's like this Monster Park. This is like an old kind of like text adventure game that I found online many years ago. Just adapted it for AIML2. So yeah, just keep those in there. Ideally, they need to be sort of like in this order as well. So basically, 1 to 15 is like the original kind of Mitsuku stuff, the core of it, if you like. 50 onwards to 73 is any update files I've done. 900s are kind of utilities. These are just naming conventions I've chosen. There's no real reason for it. It's just, if I'm exporting a file, it will load them in this or in alphabetical order now. So it just keeps the latest ones loaded last. Then just a few like bits and bobs, like an anagram solver. That one's like a fake menu that you may have seen. And then finally, like there's my current update file. Yeah. So at the moment, it's just all updates as well. Now, as I say, there's no real reason why you can't just keep them all in one big file. I mean, I've seen update files that are 2 gigabytes, but it starts getting out of hand then. So I like to try and just organise them. Just keep them all separate like that. So as I say, I mean, it's up to you how you organise your AIML files. There is no standard, no convention. The only thing I would advise is, as I've said, keep any kind of like utilities together, just so it's easier for you to, just to kind of like deal with. Like this learn one here. This one is the kind of like what we got, like, I don't know, my friends are here. Like who is here. It helps the bot to learn. So I like to keep all these together. Things that I think people may use, I keep in a file like that. Yeah, so hope that's been fairly useful for you. No hard and fast rules, just use your own judgment, really. Okay, I think that'll do it for today. If you need anything else asked, ideally just log it as Stack Overflow, just tag it with AIML. I go down these daily just to make sure there are any questions that need answering, and I can use them for like another office hours session, as well as putting an answer in there for the user. Right, hope that's useful. See you at the next one.